Yesterday, our president and the fake president, Joe Biden, issued two different types of statements on Easter. Okay? So, first and foremost, where is it? Yeah, here we go. End Wokeness shared this. Exposed. The White House is deliberately pushing different messages to its different language-speaking audiences. On the main English account, today, they celebrated Transgender Day of Visibility. On the Spanish language account, 0 references to Trans Day of Visibility. Instead, it honored Cesar Chavez Day. Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. Here's Trump's Easter message. Happy Easter to all, including the corrupt... I love... Already off to a banger. Including the corrupt and... the crooked and corrupt prosecutors and judges that are doing everything possible to interfere with the presidential election of 2024. But people were very upset about the Trans Day of Visibility thing. So let's get to it. We have Trump and Biden deliver starkly opposing Easter Day messages. Fucker didn't even drop us some 2 Corinthians. Damn, I know.
The two candidates for president are delivering very different messages this Easter Sunday. Joe Biden is wishing Christians everywhere a happy Easter and saying, quote, with wars and conflict taking a toll on innocent lives around the world, we renew our commitment to work for peace, security, and dignity for all people. Donald Trump, on the other hand, lashing out with dozens of angry posts in all caps on Truth Social, blasting his political opponents, prosecutors, and judges, saying in part, Happy Easter to all, including those many people I completely and totally despise because they want to destroy America. This, of course, just a day after sharing an image of his political opponent, Joe Biden, tied up and bound in the back of a pickup truck. Trump tonight...
The Biden message doesn't mean shit anyways. He's just pandering. He does nothing to protect trans people. He's not gone after any states outlawing trans healthcare. Like, what the fuck, dog? Oh, I know. We're going to get to that. Don't worry.
He's got a trial coming up in late April. That trial could very well end in a conviction, a felony conviction for him that carries with it significant penalties. I think he's concerned about that. And what he is doing is what he always does, which is he is branding it. He's branding it as a vendetta, a political conspiracy. He's trying to link the judge to Biden through his daughter's political consulting firm.
Wow, a president acknowledging a day that exists for us. How about actually do anything tangible for us instead and just causing more hate to stew? Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be sick if he, did anything. It'd be great if he, jailed any of the governors or legislators in state houses that were like trying to pass laws that literally prey on children and, cause direct harm to the parents of trans and non-binary kids or, adult trans people. That'd be sick. That'd be awesome. The mechanism exists for Joe to unilaterally turn off federal funding for the entire state for civil rights violations. The trans panic could be ended with a single phone call. It could. Just understand, if he did that for Florida, random state, right? The most egregious of them. If he did that for Florida, every other state would somehow find some money to send over to Florida. He could then, do fuck around and find out. Okay, you don't get some either. You don't get the purse either. He could do that. The immediate backlash would be Joe Biden is targeting, traditional conservative American values. His best message he could do in that scenario is, yes, I am. If traditional conservative American values is bigotry, then yes, I am targeting that. So let's go over to MSNBC. Trump and GOP attack Biden for recognizing Transgender Day of Visibility.
Welcome back to Politics Nation.
Oh, no. Al Sharpton talking about this is not the person to bring on for this. Uh-oh.
And let's bring in tonight's political panel, former Republican Congressman Dave Jolly of Florida and Michael Hardaway, former staffer to
That's
House.
Not Ben Stein. Could have fooled me.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Dick Durbin. David, let's start with you. President Biden is being criticized by some on the right for recognizing today as both Easter Sunday and Transgender Day of Visibility. The Trump campaign called on the White House to issue an apology. The Trump camp also criticized the Biden White House for not allowing overtly religious egg designs for the Easter art event.
The Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ, banning sacred truth and tradition, while at the same time proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day. Outrageous and abhorrent. The American people are taking note. No, the only people who are taking note are people who got trans on the brain, okay? The only people who are acknowledging that this happened are, one, people who recognize that it's cynical and they don't actually care, and people who got Gaka on the mind. Like, also, let's be real. Jesus was hanging out with sex workers, okay? There was undoubtedly, and you can quote me on this, there was undoubtedly, within all the people that Jesus was kicking it with, probably some trans people.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, Rev, to be honest. I mean, there's a little bit of dirty political pool here, but I think we got to hit it head on and suggest to President Trump and Mike Johnson and Senator Blackburn and others who are relying on the words of their Christ and their Jesus they celebrate today to condemn Joe Biden, to suggest to them that actually the Jesus they celebrate today would be inclusive of the transgendered community and would be supportive of the transgendered community and command all Christians, including Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and others who celebrate today, that in fact they should love the transgendered community as they love their own God. I am not sure the theology upon which they rely to criticize Joe Biden. I would say politically it's stupid because among the 5 to 10% of actual persuadable voters, part of their concern about today's Republican Party is exactly this behavior. Why would you use time politically, if you are Republicans, to celebrate that you want to condemn and exclude fellow Americans, that you do not want to provide?
Because that's what the Republican Party is. And to a certain extent, the Democratic Party. Like, Republicans, representatives, commentators, whatever, going out and making this a big deal is right in line with the Republican Party. There's nothing crazy about that. The question is, why would Joe Biden go out and make a statement about this? You want to have criticism of it. The criticism is what people in chat were saying. Do something then, right? When people here are talking about trans ideology taking over Europe, yeah, I mean, like, that always happens though. Whatever the American, like, political trajectory is, you will see that happen in Europe. You will see that happen in the global South. You will see all of that. America is kind of like the cultural leader because of cultural imperialism, and a downstream effect of that is whatever reactionary thing happens, like, it's going to end up in, these other regions. The only question is, how quickly will it accelerate? Because America's, like, right-wing backslide has accelerated fascism in Italy, in France, in Germany, countries where if you're having a reactionary backslide, feels like, you would kind of look at your very recent history and go, okay, maybe let's not do this.
Well, you can't fall for the red herring, which is clearly what this is. House Republicans and Speaker Johnson have no record to run on. They've presided over a disaster over the past year or so. You have constant threat of government shutdown. And on the other side, Donald Trump is facing 90-plus indictments across multiple states. He's got a litany of crimes he's addressing.
No, you should fire back. You should fire back. When Mike Johnson, and keep in mind, like, trans rights in Louisiana, where Mike Johnson is a congressperson, are under attack. He should fire back. His first step, as Nikela pointed out, withdrawing federal funding from these states. I'm in one of those states. I would rather have federal funding pulled from Louisiana than more, LGBTQ siblings be attacked by, reactionary legislation. I want to go over to some actual hogwash.
I'm outraged that Joe Brandon would declare March 31st, today, International Transgender Day of Visibility. I had no idea they were so invisible, since I see them all the time in movies, TV, my dreams. And my faith is so weak that I can no longer even celebrate Easter today. It's one of the 2 days I actually go to church, and I can't even do that.
True, brother, true.
They clearly want us to bow at the altar of the trans community instead of bow to God. And even if you don't believe in God, you should want to live in a society that does. Because
why? What? Even if you don't believe in God, you should want to live in a society that does believe in God, that does kneel to God. No, I'm good.
What God does as society means that we are accountable to something greater than ourselves. We are a society with boundaries. We're a society rooted in something deeper.
Listen, when God starts, smiting cops that kill people, and starts, going after like politicians and the owning class, and like child predators and sexual abusers and all that, when he actually starts punishing people, not in the afterlife, but in the present day for, shitty behavior, then maybe you will have a point. But we don't live in that world. We don't live in this fantasy world where people are held accountable to God in the current present life. Okay? Yeah, let some of these miracles I've heard so much about in the Bible happen. It's interesting to me, the older I get, maybe I'm more and more queer, but care less and less about someone's parts and more about who they are and how they carry themselves. I mean, that's emotional maturity, but also, yeah, like at a certain point, it's just like, doesn't really matter, does it? I don't believe in God, but I do believe in Jesus with a low-cut fade.
Imagine if Jesus had a low-cut fade. Imagine if Jesus had a
based. Pretty sure putting the name Trump on a Bible is the most sacrilegious thing that you can do. He would be smited immediately. Yeah, well, remember, they're hypocrites. They don't actually believe in any of this. The people who believe in this shit are the people they're pandering to. Not a single one of these New York socialites on Fox News believes in any of this garbage. There are some people on Fox that do, okay? But these ain't one of them.